This demo is to show how to use a pause and resume feature in ACRA. First, let's log in into the ACRA Cloud account. Once after logging in, navigate to the Automation Assets page. In the Automation Assets page, I have created the required test sets and the test cases. I have created a parent test set. Under it, I have created two child test sets. Under each child test set, I have created two test cases. Now let's create a new automation execution with these test sets and test cases. Click on Add Automation Execution button. Enter the execution name. Choose the product name. Enter the product version. Choose the product URL. Select the automation set and click Create button. After creating a new execution, navigate to the automation execution page and see that the newly created execution is listed here. The next step is to turn on the ACRA engine. Navigate to the ACRA engine folder in your local machine. In the ACRA engine folder, double-click on execute.cmd file to turn on the ACRA engine. The engine has turned on. Now go back to the ACRA Cloud. Click on the Run Test icon of the corresponding execution. Enter the iteration name, choose the browser, select the automation set, and click Run button. Once a test execution is triggered, the pause icon will be shown in the automation execution page. The engine has triggered the execution. Now it's running the first test case under the first child test set. The test execution can be paused anytime by clicking the pause icon. Now it has moved on to the second test case under the first child test set. Now it has successfully executed the first child test set, and after this it will execute the first test case of the second child test set. So now let's click the pause icon. When the pause icon is clicked, it will ask for a confirmation. Click OK button in the confirmation pop-up. So when the pause icon is clicked, the iteration which is currently running will get paused in the test case level. Now the execution has been paused. Let's go to the ACRA engine GUI. See that the test execution result has been updated as paused. Navigate to the execution area of the corresponding execution, expanding the iteration and the test sets. As we have seen, it has successfully executed the first child test set. And as we have paused the iteration during the execution of BV test case, it has got paused once after completing the execution of the BV test case, and the results has been updated accordingly. The test case, which is gray in color, indicates that it is not run. Now let's go back to the automation execution page and see how to resume the paused iteration. User can resume the paused iteration anytime in the future. When the paused iteration is resumed, it executes from the beginning of the test set under which the test case has been paused. Now to resume the paused iteration, click on the Run Test icon of the corresponding execution. Select the existing iteration radio button. From the list, select the paused iteration. The icon which is present next to the iteration name is called Ready to Resume icon. This Ready to Resume icon indicates that the iteration has been passed during the execution. This icon will be present only for the paused iterations and not for the normal iterations. Under the automation set, by default, it shows a selection of test set which will be executed when the resume button is clicked. Selections of test sets cannot be changed by the user for the paused iteration. As we have paused the iteration when the BV test case were getting executed, it shows a selection only for the second child test set. When resume button is clicked, it will trigger the execution of only the second child test set as the iteration has been passed during the execution of a test case under the second child test set. So now I'm clicking the resume button. The engine has triggered the paused iteration. Now it is executing the first test case of the second child test set as expected. Now the second test case of the second child test set is getting executed. So once the execution is completed, it will show the appropriate results in the engine GUI. Now navigate to the execution area of the corresponding execution, expanding the iterations and the test sets. It has executed only the second child test set as expected, and the results has got updated accordingly. Once after each execution, the reports will be getting generated in both PDF and Excel formats. To view the reports in PDF format, click on the PDF icon. To view the reports in Excel format, can click on the Excel icon. Consolidated reports and other details will be sent to the user's registered email ID. Thank you.